Welcome back, little ones. Tonight we have a very special journey. We are going to hear the full story of Cinderella. Get cozy, close your eyes, and let's begin. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a girl named Cinderella. She lived in a small house filled with flowers and birds. Cinderella was very kind, but her life was not easy. She had to work from morning until night, cleaning every corner of the house. In the evenings, she would sit by the fireplace, resting her tired hands. Even then, she would dream of a better life filled with kindness. She lived with her two stepsisters. They were not as kind as Cinderella. They spent their days choosing fine ribbons and silk dresses. One sunny morning, a loud knock was heard at the door. It was a messenger from the king's palace with a very important announcement. The king was holding a grand ball to find a princess for his son. Every young lady in the kingdom was invited to the palace. The sisters were so excited. They started choosing their best jewelry and brightest gowns, dreaming of dancing with the prince. Cinderella asked, "May I go to the ball too?" But the sisters only laughed. "You have no dress, Cinderella. You must stay and work." When evening came, the sisters left for the palace. Cinderella watched from the window until their carriage vanished into the forest. She sat under the old willow tree and wept. She felt so lonely and forgotten. "Oh, how I wish I could go to the ball," she whispered. Suddenly, the garden filled with a soft, magical glow. A beautiful lady with shimmering wings appeared right before her eyes. "Dry your tears, dear Cinderella," the fairy godmother said with a warm smile. "You are a kind soul, and you shall go to the ball." The fairy godmother asked Cinderella to bring a pumpkin from the garden. She touched it with her magic wand, and something wonderful happened. The pumpkin turned into a sparkling golden carriage. It was lined with soft silk and shone like the morning sun. Next, the fairy godmother saw 6 little mice. With a flick of her wand, they turned into 6 beautiful white horses to pull the carriage. A lizard became a footman, and a friendly frog became the coachman. Everything was ready except for Cinderella's old dress. The fairy godmother waved her wand once more. Cinderella's old rags turned into a gown of shimmering blue silk and lace, and on her feet appeared the most delicate glass slippers. "Go now," said the fairy godmother, "but remember, the magic ends at midnight." Cinderella thanked her godmother and climbed into the carriage. Away she went, through the dark forest toward the glowing palace. When she arrived at the palace, everyone fell silent. They had never seen anyone so beautiful and so graceful. Even the sisters didn't recognize her. The prince walked toward her and bowed. "Will you dance with me?" he asked softly. Cinderella smiled and took his hand. They danced and talked all evening. The prince was kind and wise, and Cinderella felt like she was in a wonderful dream. The hours flew by so fast. Cinderella was so happy that she almost forgot the fairy godmother's warning. She wanted the night to last forever. But then the clock began to strike. "Dong! Dong!" Cinderella remembered. "I must go!" she cried and ran out of the ballroom. The prince called after her, but she didn't stop. She ran down the long palace steps, her heart beating fast as the magic began to fade. As she ran, she lost one of her glass slippers on the stairs. She didn't have time to go back. She reached her carriage just in time. Just as she reached her house, the clock finished striking 12. The carriage became a pumpkin again, and her beautiful dress turned back into rags. The prince found the slipper. He declared that he would marry the girl whose foot fit the slipper perfectly. He began searching the whole kingdom. The king's men visited every house. Many girls tried the slipper, but it was too small for some and too large for others. It fit no one. Finally, they reached Cinderella's house. The stepsisters tried and tried, pushing their feet into the tiny slipper, but it simply would not fit. Then Cinderella stepped forward. "May I try?" she asked softly. Her sisters laughed, but the king's men invited her to sit down. As she slipped her foot into the glass slipper, everyone gasped. It fit perfectly. Cinderella then pulled the other slipper from her pocket. The sisters were shocked. Suddenly, the fairy godmother appeared and changed Cinderella's rags back into the beautiful gown. They knew she was the princess. Cinderella was taken to the palace. The prince was overjoyed to see her again. "I have found you at last," he said with a smile. They were married in a grand ceremony. Cinderella forgave her sisters, and the kingdom was filled with joy and laughter for many years. And so they lived happily ever after. Now close your eyes, drift away to dreamland, and remember that kindness always wins. Good night, sweet dreams.